So my name is Sofia Lind. Tasaseks is the name of my company. And I'm here to give you the Finnish example of sex ed in elementary school and how I personally like to use Amaze videos in my classroom. Just to give you a little bit more context on sex education, I'm just going to talk about Finland a little bit. So you can see Finland on the map there, and we're in Northern Europe, a small country of 5 million people, and we have a very, very strong public school system where about 90% of students in Finland go to the nearest school in their own neighborhood, and school is free of charge here. All elementary level teachers have a master's degree, and we only have one national curriculum where sexuality education and equality are included. This being said, teachers do have a lot of autonomy in Finland, and the quality of sex ed still varies quite a lot from classroom to classroom, and a lot more teacher training on these subjects is still needed. But luckily, government funding has now been allocated for these type of training programs for teachers, and I'm one of the trainers. Today, I was asked to give you an example of how I'm using Amaze videos in my own classroom. And I like to use stations a lot, where I divide my students into groups. And on each station, there's a video and then some exercises that they work on. And this is just an example what there could be on each station. And sometimes I do stations where there's a certain time limit, and then they switch when I ring a bell or something like that. Or sometimes I have more stations around, and the students just go from station to station when they feel like they are ready with the exercises, and there's room in a station. I'm not referring to any certain videos. Most of these ideas can be used on almost any video, but especially, or you know what kind of video. Some of the videos are more about the values and the things that don't really have like facts that you can answer to, but then there are videos that have more facts, and some of these ways of working in the classroom work better with the value type of videos, and then some of them work better with the ones that have a lot of kind of fact knowledge that the students are trying to learn. But first of all, obviously, conversation is always a good way to kind of go through a video. And I like to use questions before and after a video. The questions can be about feelings, they can be about facts, they can be about pretty much anything. But it's always interesting to see how their perception of things changes after they watch a video. That's why I always ask questions before and after. One way of sparking conversation is an opinion line. An opinion line can be formed so that the students are physically on a line where there's, in this end, I fully agree, and this end, I completely disagree. And then the students stand on that line according to their own opinion on a question that I have written beforehand. So they might be maybe cards or something that they take out one card at a time, and there's something written on it, and then they decide if they agree or disagree. If there's less room to use, you can also do this just on a table, and maybe the students can have like a small object that they use on that line to show how they feel about a certain question. Then puzzles. Puzzles are great especially for anatomy topics. I do puzzles so that I have a picture of maybe a body part or whatever, and I cut it into pieces. And then the students have to put the pieces together and then name the thing on that picture. So there might be 5 different pictures that they put together, and then they name the things. Or it might be a bigger one that you've cut into a lot more pieces, and then they need to work together on making it a full picture again. Or I use puzzles so that the picture is still intact, and I write these small cards with words on them, and then they need to place them correctly on that picture. So the cards could be maybe about the clitoris or the uterus or whatever, and then they place them on the picture as they have learned from the video that they previously watched. Then I like to use different types of arts with the videos. Comic strips are a good way of going through kind of what happened or the theme of the video. If we've watched a video about sexual harassment, for example, then we could draw comic strips that where the students could show a situation where someone's boundaries are not respected and what they could do, or the same theme could be addressed with some sort of drama work, and we use still pictures where a couple of students they could be given a topic, or they could just make it up after watching a video, and they could do a still picture where something that they saw on the video, they kind of, for example, if they saw in the video that someone was showing their boobs like like this, so they could be doing a still picture like that, and then the other teammates are guessing which situation from the video they are presenting, and then there could be some follow-up questions or something after that. And then I also like to use draw and guess, where, for example, the anatomy topics could be a good ones. Again, cards where the person who's drawing takes a card. It says, okay, testicles, time to draw some testicles then. And then you start drawing, and the others try to guess which thing you're trying to draw that they have seen on the videos. And then lastly, different types of games. Alias is actually an official game in Europe where you're explaining and guessing words in a limited time, but you can make your own explaining games, as many of them as you want to. So the student lifts a card, and it says some sort of concept. It could be maybe homosexuality, and then the student tries to explain the word without saying homosexuality, and the others try to guess which word he's trying to or they are trying to explain. The slap is where there are concepts on cards, and the students are sitting around the cards, and a student or the teacher is reading the explanation, and that could be, let's take the homosexuality one, that the person is sexually attracted to people of the same gender. And then the students look at the cards and they're like, where is it? Where is it? There, I find that's homosexuality. And they try to slap that card as fast as they can. So they are kind of racing who finds the right concept first. So that's kind of a fun exercise where they're learning and competing at the same time. And one more idea to throw you guys, and that's a QR code race. And this means that I make QR codes And behind each one of these codes, there's one of the Amaze videos, or just maybe not a whole video, it can be a shorter one too. And the students have a list of questions that they need to find answers to from the videos. And then they go from one QR code to the next, trying to find the answers to the questions that they have. They might be competing against each other, like which group finds the answers first or whatever. And the videos or the QR codes for the videos can be scattered around the school. My students love it if they get to run in the hallways, or if we go outside to the yard and I scatter them kind of around there so they get some exercise as they go. So kind of to sum this up, I really, really like to make sexuality education as fun and as active as possible. As Emmy says, it really takes the awkward out of it really well. So I really hope you enjoyed my presentation and maybe got a few new ideas on how to do active exercises after watching the videos. So have a great conference and a great night.